Hi guys, and welcome back to another catch up at Kath's. And this week we're going to be talking about Ruby's we're going to be talking about Ruby, obviously her misadventure this week. And yes, I do have some food this week. We've got some wonderful Krispy Kreme donuts. So just a selection of 3 because it's just me. There was an option for 12, but I decided not to. So we've got a selection of 3 to get through while we watch EastEnders. But first of all, I wanted to just do a bit of news. And this was this interview on Digital Spy where Louisa Lytton addresses backlash over the Ruby storyline. And some of the comments that I've seen online, mainly on Facebook, to be honest, have been shocking. People saying that Ruby deserves the miscarriage, she brought it on herself, and also people seem to be attacking the actress rather than the character. So people are maining about her looks and how she dresses, and it is disgusting. So I'm glad that Louisa has hit back at this. I mean, some of her quotes are really quite eye-opening. She said, when asked, have the audience turned on Ruby? She said, it's really hard and it's something I've thought a lot about. Obviously, since Ruby has come back to the show after the consent storyline, which got all of the audience on side as it would, she then goes and makes some bad decisions. I think a lot of the audience have already turned on her, and that is my worry. Because at the time, if we're doing a miscarriage storyline, you've got to have empathy for Ruby because it's such an important story that we're covering. You don't want to waste that on there being so much hate around Ruby that you forget what's going on storyline-wise. And I think that is so important. And I don't think the blame should lay on the actors. I don't think the blame also should be on the fans who are writing these things about Ruby and about the actress. I think actually the blame should be on whoever storylined this idea. Because we know back during lockdown, Louisa Lytton mentioned that she would like Ruby to have maybe a miscarriage storyline, which obviously they went ahead and did. But the way that they've done it with involving her now blaming Stacey for the miscarriage, it just rings so awful to me. And especially keeping in mind that Lacey Turner is currently pregnant and about to go on maternity leave. And the fact that they're using her storyline, her exit storyline, is about being blamed for causing someone to have a miscarriage when Lacey Turner has a history of having problems conceiving, just feels a bit problematic to me. Like, did they discuss this with Lacey Turner saying, are you happy, are you okay to do this sort of storyline or not? It just feels a bit of like a toxic mess, the way they've handled this. But, we'll see. But anyway, that's my little 2 cents on that interview. But we will obviously get into watching this week's episode and catching up and watching it, so maybe you don't have to. Oh yes, Kath and Phil still shagging, aren't they? Oh. Joke's on you, Phil, because they're actually Callum's underwear.
You had to show everyone a good time, didn't you, Phil?
Is anyone happy with this Kath and Phil storyline yet, or are they still a bit dodgy about it all? Let's try a bit of this, shall we? A pink one.
Sharon, a booty call.
Listen, there's nothing going on there. No. I'm going to put her straight.
Like I care. Oh, she's keen, isn't she?
Shell suit stamp. Remember that, because that comes up a lot this week. Let's talk about Scummy Peter for a bit, shall we? We thought he reached his scummy levels last week. But now he arranges this really nice thing with Peter to go out with 2 brothers because Nanny Kath said he should. And then he ends up ditching him because Ash wants to go on the lash again because she got fired, which is Peter's fault.
Why don't you take Bobby out tonight?
Also, didn't we have this storyline already with Rainey when she had a bad back and Bobby was doing stuff for Rainey? And now we're having the same storyline again with Peter. So lucky to get Clay. He's such a good actor. Like, no matter what Bobby does, there's like a realism that you root for him, don't you? Because he's such like a tormented guy.
Nice.
Big Mo and Bernie's big storyline.
Oh, man, not egg again. You're going to be hotboxing me all
Of course, Big Mo's storyline is about farting, as usual.
Hello, KJP. Pest Control, how can I help?
How can I help? Here's Staz, the new guy.
Mum, Can you get his coffee?
that the Mitchells have been working with for a year apparently, and like, don't you dare interrupt me. And we also had quite a big storyline this week as well of Isaac, didn't we? Because Kim is like, for some reason, wanting to matchmake people up together. So she matchmakes Lola and Isaac, which also brings out quite a new side to Cherie's character this week, which is quite interesting.
You want to go to the ball? A date?
Lola.
A date?
Depends. Is it with
Don't
one
talk
of the
to me.
Hemsworth brothers?
Ah.
That was an awkward 5 seconds.
Because like I said in the phone, we're good to go, Aaron.
Does anyone give a shit about like these stupid gangster storylines?
What?
The thing is, I'm not so sure. I found someone else who can do the job for 5% less.
Oh.
That is not your concern. We've been working together for a year. Where's your loyalty?
Working together for a year.
I'm listening.
We've never seen this person before. Why do they keep bringing in new gangsters as well? Why don't they just use the same one? Like, I know I hate Danny Hardcastle, but just have him back again. Oh, I hate this as well. Just Kath is just, oh Phil, is he mad at me? Ugh. I'm just stupid. I can't be bothered. This storyline and the Lucas storyline is just, nah. This happened really quick as well. Like last time we saw Lola, like Kim was suggesting maybe go on a date, and now she's just here dressed up ready, like an hour later. I'm also extremely worried about how they're handling the Isaac storyline. It's really strange how like Cherie's all of a sudden like worried that Isaac's dating someone. Like she's never been worried before, and he's slept with like thousands of people during lockdown. And we know that it's schizophrenia, and it's like he's obviously had this diagnosed for quite a long time. So why is she suddenly now worried? It doesn't make sense. What's Suki selling this week then? Cards. It's just like a load of tat, isn't it? She thinks she's upmarket, but she ain't. It's like a washing line and a card. Also, ice buns seem to be a theme this week because they're just literally everywhere. Best friends. Remember when I stole your medication and crushed it into Ian's pasta? I don't buy this friendship either at all. It's like their random name generator they've used again. It's like, who can be friends? Jean and Sharon.
You know, maybe I'm reading the sequence wrong, but no, I've seen how he looks at you. If you're reading the
She hated Phil before because Jean thought he took Stacey out of Walford for nearly a year, and now she's like, you're both destined to be lovers forever.
But YOLO! That means, yeah.
Sharon's like, I know what YOLO means. I watch the Kardashians.
Look, I've been thinking, has the GP been in contact about our 12-week scan yet?
No, not yet.
Oh, it's a couple of weeks, isn't it?
Such a modern dad, isn't he?
I'll call a midwife.
Our 12-week scan. I know it all. I've been there 10 times before.
Right? Look, it's my body, Martin. Just because I'm carrying your child.
See, that's the 2019 Ruby.
I'll see you at work then, yeah?
My body, my choice. F off.
Where's Lola?
She's not at work today.
I bought her a present.
And the writing is so weird with this because they're like being so vague on purpose about what his illness is, and they'd like tiptoe around saying what it is, and it's so unrealistic dialogue. Patrick's feeling down after his stroke.
Tomorrow.
It barely affected him this time, even though he just had COVID. It was this scene where they're like, I don't know, it feels a bit wrong that they're almost like playing with the audience, like, ooh, what illness does he have? Is it mental health? Is it HIV? It's like, just do some open and honest dialogue, because this isn't a new thing between these characters. Isaac has probably lived with this for years.
They're not good for you, Isaac. It's not fair for the woman.
I'm better now, I've grown up.
You could have been killed, Isaac.
Like, you could have been killed. Like, I hope they go into actually what happened here.
I feel like I'm living half a life. It's not how the world works anymore.
They might not say it to your face.
Oh, this dialogue is so baiting. I don't know, maybe it says more about me, but when like everyone thought it was HIV and like, we had this scene, and it turns like, oh no, we fooled you, it's not that, it's schizophrenia. It just feels a bit dirty. I just don't trust them to like portray this well. Hopefully I'm wrong.
Yeah, it does.
Oh yeah, we had Ruby steal some poor woman's baby scan. Although it wasn't her first, so Ruby was like, it's fine, I'll just take it. Although it is in a strange frame, which is obviously hiding the real name, so I'm sure that will come out at one point.
Easter holidays.
Another holiday?
Will Stacey be alright with that? Won't she need help with the kids?
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about all my kids.
Well, we should take them.
You sure?
Yeah, of course.
I love kids now.
As long as Stacey's
I've had a
okay
complete
with it,
character
I don't want her
change.
thinking I'm
We're lucky that Louisa is doing such a good job with this script, because
I really
you
want
do
us to
feel
work
for
between
Ruby,
us.
thankfully. But I think that's more down to the actress than the script they're giving her. Yeah, for God's sake. Is this Kat Slater or is it bloody Mo? Or is it Little Mo? She's acting more like Lynn, actually, isn't she?
Mum said she got a face like a slap.
Slapped ass.
Oh, don't bother.
Now this I enjoyed. Seeing Sharon and Kirat like working together and like flirting was like strangely fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm looking for a flat, though. I don't suppose you have anywhere.
Unfortunately, you're far too classy to be one of our tenants.
And you're far too charming to be my landlord.
You could be my
Your ex
mistress.
have contact.
Need to get you out more, bruv.
I just want Kirat to just to shag everyone in the square, like Sharon, Stacey, Ben.
What's going on?
If we didn't know that history, how he hated Ash and doesn't like bisexuality and stuff, I would be up for this. But obviously, Kirat, he has that dark history when he was first introduced, where he was quite horrible. So
Secret safe?
Rare, lucrative deal.
this made me hate Ben as well. Like, what's the point? It's so stupid.
I'd like to see you try.
Max's Ben can be so good, like when he was first in it, and their writing for him now is just shocking. Though he does look good.
Wait, leave her alone. Oh, sorry.
I think Callum should be worried because those two have way more chemistry than Ben and Callum.
Ben. You should go.
What a love triangle that would be, Sharon, Ben and Kira. Callum's so useless now as well. He never used to be this rubbish. Just stands there. Typical Mitchell doormat. That's what Kat is now. Don't care about Phil, so sorry. Bye. This is obviously the start of Ruby's storyline where she's miscarried, and
I didn't sleep much.
but she won't tell Martin yet, which leads to the big stunt at the end of the episode.
Hold on. Have you two not caught up yet?
More of Kim's matchmaking. I think this comes into play again next week as well, because the new bar girl like eyes up Ikra, which is interesting. I wish they'd just make her a character because she's quite interesting and different. More sexual chemistry here between Kira and Stan.
Your face. Nah, I'd rather nail my tongue to a table than eat anywhere around here.
You haven't been to Kathy's, obviously. I don't even know what their job is. I don't care. It's just a load of men like saying how big their willies are. Really. This is where we had the big scene between these two. I mean, we're lucky that we had Lacey and they have such a chemistry together that they can sort of salvage this awful storyline. And it's interesting how it like they go from hating each other to like talking about being friends again, and then like one comment can like escalate to what it goes to. It's quite clever. That's why you need characters of history so you can do stuff like this.
I don't know what he ever saw in you.
I don't know what he sees in you. You're just a stuck-up little princess.
You need to get over him, Stace.
This was a
All
mistake.
these women fighting over Martin Fowler.
No, if you've got something to say,
Here we go.
What is
Oh, I see some
point?
stairs
keep
there.
trying to be nice and you just carry on point scoring. You are never gonna change.
what makes you think you...
I love how they're just acting to nothing here because it's green screen.
Don't walk away from me. If you've got something to say, you say it to my face. Oh, Ruby, just leave it.
Like, did Stacey push her then, or did her ankle just give way? It's hard to tell with like the social distancing. So this is where there's a hint of Ikra's new relationship. I do worry that because it's like not a full-time character, they're gonna get together and like plan to move away to Ibiza, and then that would just be end of Ikra, like within a month or so. Because they do that quite a few times with characters in the past, like a really lazy exit, and then we can all then get a full-time character working here like Sharon. I don't want Ikra to leave. I think she's good. Here we go. Ruby's sort of. This is the moment where like I think the audience turned, because like she's using her the miscarriage as like, oh, I can get one over on Stacey, and it's like it's a real nasty move. It's like what they did to Mel Owen like a few years ago, where they just turned her like evil and crazy like all of a sudden and killed her. I can imagine them doing that with Ruby. Lucas looked at her, didn't he, at Christmas Eve across the street. I can just see them building this up to her being alone and no one liking her. And then Lucas killing her out of nowhere or something. But I wonder who that is on James's shoulder. But there you go. That was the week. It was quite intense week. I mean, I just skipped over all the gangster crap because I just don't care about that. It's awful. And we have more of that next week. But I think they did a good job with the Ruby storyline, and it's interesting what they're doing with Isaac, although I am worried about how they portray it, but we'll keep an open mind. So there you go, that was a little recap of last week's EastEnders, and of course we'll be back again next week to eat together and discuss it all again. So, see you then.